Good evening. This is All India Radio and I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is R.S. Raghu with the evening news. The headlines. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announces structural reforms in 8 sectors to build self-reliant India. Commercial mining in coal to be allowed on revenue share basis. 50,000 crore rupees to be invested in coal sector. FDI limits through automatic route in defence manufacturing raised from 49% to 74%. Recovery rate of COVID-19 patients improves to 35.08%. And in the second phase of Vande Bharat mission, flight carrying 177 passengers from Dubai lands in Kochi. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman unveiled structural reforms for various sectors to build a self-reliant India under the Atma Nirbhar Bharat campaign today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had on Tuesday in his address to the nation announced a special economic package equivalent to 10% of India's GDP amounting to 20 lakh crore rupees. Addressing a media briefing in New Delhi, Finance Minister in announcement of the 4th tranche of measures to address the economic situation in the country due to COVID-19 outlined structural reforms with focus on 8 sectors of coal, minerals, defence production, civil aviation, power distribution companies, space sector and atomic energy. In a major announcement, Ms. Sitharaman informed that foreign direct investment FDI limit in defence manufacturing under automatic route will be raised from 49% to 74%. With an aim to boost Make in India, Finance Minister announced that a list of weapons or their parts would no longer be imported and the indigenous production would be ensured within the country. Government will notify year-wise timelines to ban such imports.
That FDI limits are being raised from 49% to 74%. Of course, it will have the security clearances and everything else, as always. And then we'll also have a mechanism established so that time-bound defence procurement processes happen.
In another historic structural reform announced by Ms. Sitharaman, corporatization of Ordnance Factory Board to improve autonomy, accountability and efficiency among ordnance suppliers was done. Finance Minister announced private sector participation in coal sector through a revenue sharing mechanism. She added that this will introduce competition and transparency in the coal sector. This, Ms. Sitharaman informed that 50 blocks will be available for bidding at the earliest. Detailed roadmap for investment of 50,000 crore rupees towards development of infrastructure for evacuation of coal has also been outlined.
The coal bed methane also will be auctioned so that these coal beds which are with Coal India but untapped also can benefit the country. So the coal bed methane extraction also will happen through auctioning. 50,000 crores will be spent by Government of India for creating evacuation infrastructure.
Announcing a much-awaited sectoral reform in the aviation section, Finance Minister highlighted that issue of only 60% of the Indian airspace being available for commercial flights. She announced easing of restrictions on further utilization of the airspace. The decision will rope in a benefit of 1,000 crore rupees for the aviation sector as it will drastically reduce the time and fuel consumed by the commercial flights. Finance Minister added that 6 more airports will be put up for auction under the PPP model for the operation and management.
6 more airports are for auction and the Airports Authority of India shall do it on public-private basis, PPP basis. Additional investments also are likely to happen by private players in about 12 airports which they are already holding for better world-class facilities to be brought in. So majorly airports in India will become far more with better facility and customer experience.
She said the government will rationalize the tax regime for maintenance, repair and overhaul MROs of the aircrafts in the country. Earlier, the aircrafts had to fly abroad for the MROs. Ms. Sitharaman informed that the government will release a tariff policy with reforms including consumer rights, promotion of industry and sustainability of sector for the power distribution companies. She also announced the proposal to privatize the power departments in union territories, ensuring better services and efficiency in power distribution. In another major reform, Finance Minister announced that the government will boost private sector investments in social infrastructure projects like hospitals.
For creation of social infrastructure projects which are like hospitals, because India needs a ramp up on social infrastructure, government has made a provision for 8,100 crores, that will be the total outlay, which will be going in the form of viability gap funding. So in general, for most projects which are supported by government or states or the statutory bodies, 20% is what is given as viability gap funding. But in this case of social infrastructure, government has decided to give 30% viability gap funding.
Opening up Indian space sector, the minister announced boosting up of private participation in space-related activities. A major push to the decision is aimed at by allowing private sector to use ISRO facilities and other relevant assets to improve their capabilities.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has welcomed today's measures announced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. In a tweet, he said today's announcement covers a wide array of important sectors such as coal, minerals, defence, aviation, space and atomic energy. Mr. Modi said the measures or reforms announced will create many business opportunities and contribute to economic transformation. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman for today's landmark decisions which will surely boost country's economy and will further our efforts towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. In a series of tweets, he said that the Prime Minister's mantra of reform, perform and transform is the key of India's phenomenal growth in the last 6 years. He said 50,000 crore rupees for infrastructure development in coal sector and introduction of commercial mining is a welcome policy reform which will bring more competition and transparency. The Home Minister congratulated the Prime Minister for this unprecedented step to make India self-reliant in coal production. Speaking exclusively to AIR News, Niti Aayog member and former Director General of DRDO V.K. Saraswat said the systematic reforms introduced by the government under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan will bring long-lasting effects. He also commended the decision for indigenous production of weapons and their parts.
स्ट्रक्चरल रिफॉर्म्स करने से लॉन्ग टर्म बेनिफिट्स होते हैं और मैं जो कॉन्स्टेंसी और पॉलिसी की बात कर रहा हूँ वो भी इसी से इवॉल्व होगी। तो आर्म फोर्सेस दो तरह से प्रोक्योर करती हैं, एक होता है रेवेन्यू प्रोक्योरमेंट, एक होता है कैपिटल इन प्रोक्योरमेंट। रेवेन्यू प्रोक्योरमेंट भी काफी मेजर होता है जो कि स्पेयर पार्ट्स होते हैं, कंज्यूमेबल्स होते हैं। तो ये चीजें अगर हमारे हिंदुस्तान में बनने लगे तो हमें काफी फायदा होगा।
The second phase of the Vande Bharat mission to bring back stranded and distressed citizens to India in the time of the pandemic begins today and will continue till the 22nd of this month. In this phase, Indians from 31 countries will be brought back. Till now, over 1,88,000 Indian nationals have registered for return on the portal. At least 39 flights have been scheduled from the Gulf countries in the second phase. 11 flights have been scheduled from the United Arab Emirates. As part of the mission, carrying expatriates from Dubai arrived in Kochi today evening. 2 more flights are scheduled to arrive today in Kerala, carrying expatriates from UAE. A report from our correspondent.
The flight from Dubai carrying 177 passengers arrived in Kochi today evening. 2 flights from Abu Dhabi will also be arriving, each in Kozhikode and Thiruvananthapuram, today late night. As part of Samudra Setu mission, INS Jalashwa carrying 588 expatriates from Maldives is scheduled to arrive in Kochi tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, 11 more COVID-19 cases are confirmed in Kerala today, of which all of them are returnees. 7 people returned from abroad and 2 each from Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. 4 people recovered from the disease today. Presently, 87 people are under treatment for COVID-19 in the state. The State Health Minister K.K. Shailaja said that as the third wave of infection began in the state with recent spike in COVID cases, the government is determined to save each life and no relaxation will be done in COVID preventive measures. As part of the containment, tomorrow will be a complete lockdown with no private vehicles allowed. Only emergency and essential services will be permitted. Mayush Shah for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
Railways has transported more than 14 lakh stranded people to the home states through Shramik special trains. Railway Ministry has said that Railways has operated 1,074 Shramik special trains across the country. These special trains have originated from various states like Andhra Pradesh, Delhi, Gujarat, Haryana, Maharashtra, Punjab, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Jharkand, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Bihar. More from a correspondent.
Railways have started running Shramik special trains from 1st of this month to move migrant workers, pilgrims, tourists, students and other persons stranded at different places due to the lockdown. These trains are being run by railways only after concurrence is given both by the state which is sending the passengers and the state which is receiving them. During the last 3 days, more than 2 lakh people were transported per day. Proper screening of passengers is being ensured before boarding the train. During the journey, passengers are given free meals and water. With Dipendra Kumar, Suparna Saikya, AIR News, Delhi.
The centre has asked states to ensure that migrant workers don't have to walk back home as the Government of India is running buses and over 100 Shramik special trains daily to facilitate their journey. Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla has written to Chief Secretaries of States that people need to be made aware about these arrangements and counseled by states to not travel on foot. He said states should ensure that such workers are taken to nearby shelters and provided food and water till they boarded the buses or trains.
Food and Public Distribution Minister Ram Vilas Paswan has said that the Modi government is sensitive to the plight of the migrant labourers and the poor, and his ministry is doing everything possible to ensure that no one goes hungry. Interacting with media through video conference in New Delhi today, Mr. Paswan said government has announced many short and long-term measures for supporting the poor, including migrant workers. He said the measures include distribution of free food grains and pulses to 8 crore migrant labourers who are not covered under National Food Security Act or state scheme PDS cards at 5 kg per person per month free of cost for 2 months, that is May and June 2020. Mr. Paswan said to mitigate plight of migrants during this precarious situation and also ensure availability of food grains to them and their families, 8 lakh tons of food grains has been allocated to states and the centre will bear the entire cost on account of such distribution, including transportation within the state, dealers' margin, etc. Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said the government sent the relief amount directly to the account of the farmers and workers through direct benefit transfer, which eliminated the middlemen. He said the government is working with inclusive and honest approach to deal with the crisis which emerged out due to the coronavirus in the country. He said rural poor, workers and farmers are priority for Prime Minister Narendra Modi and they have been given relief on priority basis. Union Health Secretary Preeti Sudan interacted with 30 COVID-19 high-case load municipal areas and reviewed measures for containment and management of COVID-19. Ms. Sudan held the meeting in New Delhi with principal health secretaries, municipal commissioners, DMs and other officials from these municipal areas which are contributing almost 80% of the country's COVID-19 cases. During the meeting, a presentation was made on the present status of COVID-19 infections in the districts while highlighting the high-risk factors, indices such as confirmation rate, fatality rate, doubling rate and tests per million.
Union Human Resource Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank has said that the Central Board of Secondary Education CBSE will now release the date sheets of the board exams of class 10th and 12th on Monday. Earlier, the date sheets for the exams were to be released this evening by the CBSE. The minister said in a tweet that CBSE is taking into consideration some additional technical aspects before finalizing the date sheets of the board exams of class 10th and 12th, due to which the date sheets will now be released on 18th May. The centre has asked the states to use online portal National Migrant Information System NMIS for capturing the information on movement of migrants and for better interstate coordination. In a letter to the State Chief Secretaries, Union Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla said that to capture the information regarding movement of migrants and facilitate the smooth movement of stranded persons across states, National Disaster Management Authority NDMA has developed an online dashboard NMIS on the existing NDMA GIS portal. He said the portal will maintain a central repository and help the sending as well as receiving state and district to ask for and give the acceptance in an online format seamlessly. This system will help in speedy communication between states without creating additional work at the level of the field officers.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announces structural reforms in 8 sectors to build self-reliant India. Commercial mining in coal to be allowed on revenue share basis, 50,000 crore rupees to be invested in coal sector. FDI limits through automatic route in defence manufacturing raised from 49% to 74%. Recovery rate of COVID-19 patients improves to 35.08%. And in second phase of Vande Bharat mission, flight carrying 177 passengers from Dubai lands in Kochi. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
The Health and Family Welfare Ministry today said a total of 30,153 patients have been cured of coronavirus and the recovery rate has reached 35.08% in the country. During the last 24 hours, 2,233 patients have recovered and 3,970 fresh cases of COVID-19 have been reported, taking the total number of cases to 85,940. Our total 103 deaths have been registered during the last 24 hours, taking the nationwide toll to 2,752. A total of 438 new confirmed cases of novel coronavirus have been reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 9,333. Delhi government has confirmed that 3,926 patients have been cured so far and the recovery rate reached to 42.06%. In the last 24 hours, 408 patients have been recovered and 6 deaths have been reported in the national capital, taking the toll to 129. The Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, has said that a total 94,325 samples have been tested for COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. The total number of tests reached 21,34,277 in the country.
Health and Family Welfare Minister has advised that the personal protective equipment is to be used based on the risk profile of the healthcare worker. Ministry has issued the additional guidelines on rational use of PPE for health functionaries working in non-COVID hospitals and non-treatment areas of hospital which has a COVID block. The guidelines stress on the settings approach to guide on the type of personal protective equipment to be used in different settings. Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, has directed all district magistrates in state to stop those trucks and vehicles which are transporting migrant labourers immediately and seize them after filing case against them. He has taken cognizance of the accident in Auraiya district in which 24 migrant workers lost their lives and 31 others are injured. These migrants were travelling in a truck and were going from Faridabad to Gorakhpur. Taking strong action in the incident, Chief Minister has ordered for suspension of 2 SHOs in the case of Auraiya accident. Uttar Pradesh has become the leading state in providing employment through MG Narega scheme in the country. Currently, 28.8 lakh people are getting employment under MG Narega in state, out of which 4.5 are those migrants who recently returned from other states. A report.
In an exclusive interview, Principal Secretary Rural Development Department Manoj Kumar Singh told AIR that the numbers of migrants adding to the MG Narega work is growing at a speed of 1 lakh daily and we are trying to provide work for every migrant. For this, 11.5 lakh projects have been sanctioned in 58,000 Gram Panchayats of state. Mr. Singh said,
4.5 लाख मजदूर जो बाहर से आए हैं उनको अभी तक नरेगा के काम से जोड़ा जा चुका है. लगभग 28.5 लाख लोग इस पे कल काम कर रहे थे. दूसरी तरफ सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप को हम लोग फेयर प्राइस शॉप पे वो काम करें, उनके जरिए फेयर प्राइस शॉप में पीडीएस का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो और जो एग्रो प्रोसेसिंग है और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग है छोटे स्तर पे गांव में, उसको सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप के द्वारा उत्कृष्टता के साथ किया जा सके, इस दिशा में प्रयास किया जा रहा है.
State government has started rejuvenation work of 22 rivers in state to provide work under MG Narega and payment is being given within 1 week through DBT as migrants are in dire need of cash. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Chief Minister of Jharkand, Hemant Soren, in wake of the recent Auraiya accident took place early morning today, has directed all the district authorities and state police officials in Jharkand to stop transportation of migrant labourers through trucks and roadway vehicles immediately. Mr. Soren said that the state government is taking all measures to bring back its stranded labourers stuck in different parts of the country.
Around a dozen labourers from Bokaro district of Jharkhand have died and many migrant labourers of the state were injured in the accident that took place early this morning in Auraiya in Uttar Pradesh. All migrant labourers belonging to Khirabeda village of Bokaro were returning from Rajasthan. After the incident, Bokaro MLA Biranchi Narayan went to Khirabeda village and demanded a compensation of rupees 10 lakh each from the Chief Minister of Jharkhand for the families of the victims. Mr. Narayan told AIR that he has urged the Uttar Pradesh Pradesh government and the senior officials to arrange for proper treatment of the injured. He has also requested the UP government to arrange for transportation of the dead bodies to their homes. This is Shilpi for All India Radio News from Ranchi.
In Rajasthan, the active patients of COVID-19 have gone up to 2,014 in the state, while 2,785 persons have been recovered so far. The number of active cases has suddenly increased in the last 5 days. Today, 177 persons tested positive for COVID-19, out of which 122 persons are from Jaipur. More from a correspondent.
116 prisoners in Jaipur district jail have been tested positive today. Now the number of positive prisoners has gone up to 130 in the state. Deputy Inspector General of Jail, Vikas Kumar, told that some prisoners have shifted to hospital for treatment, while the remaining infected prisoners are being treated in COVID care center developed in jail premises. 360 migrants returned from other states have been found positive so far. Migrants have been reached Jalore, Jodhpur and Bikaner from different states by Shramik special trains today. Health Minister Dr. Raghu Sharma said that investigation facility will be started in the all districts of the state soon. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
In Madhya Pradesh, over 60 foreign nationals and members of Tablighi Jamaat have been arrested by the police today in Bhopal for participating in various religious programs of the organization in violation of the Foreigners Act and under the Indian Penal Code. Earlier cases were registered against them under visa norms at various police stations in Bhopal. A report.
Bhopal IG Upendra Jain informed that cases were registered against the foreigner members of Tablighi Jamaat for the violation of visa conditions under the Foreigners Act. As per the information, they had arrived in India on tourist visas under which they can't participate in religious activities. They hailed from countries like Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Tanzania, South Africa and Myanmar. The Jamaati's members' bail application was already rejected by local court in Bhopal yesterday. Officials also informed that some of the arrested persons had earlier tested positive for coronavirus and all of them were placed under quarantine. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Maharashtra government is making all the preparations to face the worst situation as the number of COVID-19 patients is showing steep rise for past few days. After the efforts of building COVID-19 facilities at Goregaon, BKC and Worli, Mumbai, the BMC is trying to utilize the famous Wankhede Stadium for COVID-19 facilities. Meanwhile, Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh today said that the government has sent 245,000 migrant labourers by 191 trains till date. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
In Maharashtra, the increasing number of COVID-19 patients in the cities like Mumbai, Pune and other urban areas has created fear in the people residing in these cities and they are rushing to their native places like Kolhapur, Sangli and districts in Konkan. After the relaxation in lockdown restrictions, people are returning by private vehicles as well as hired commercial vehicles. But it has increased the danger of spreading the pandemic in the rural areas as most of the people are returning from red zones. Traffic jams are seen on the roads connecting rural Maharashtra. The Guardian Minister of Kolhapur has urged the government to ban the entry of these local migrants as it has overburdened the health and quarantine facilities in the district. Shailesh Patil, AR News, Mumbai.
In Karnataka, 36 new COVID-19 positive cases were reported today, taking the total positive cases to 1,092. Till date, 496 persons were discharged after recovery and out of remaining 559 positive cases, 13 are in ICU. More from our correspondent.
The Chief Minister has welcomed private investments in mines and minerals, the defence sector, civil aviation and space. He felt Karnataka has ample opportunity to attract investments in these sectors and added that with investments will come employment opportunities. Primary and Secondary Education Minister Suresh Kumar has said that the authorities have taken cognizance of people violating norms in the containment zones and the government is thinking of finding ways to ensure better regulation of such zones to avoid spread of infection to other parts of the state. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has thanked US President Donald Trump for donating ventilators to India. Mr. Trump had announced that United States will donate ventilators to India and US stands with India and Mr. Modi during this pandemic. The US President had said that India and US are also cooperating on vaccine development and together we will beat this invisible enemy. Replying to Mr. Trump on Twitter, Mr. Modi said, "This pandemic is being fought collectively by all of us." The Prime Minister said, "In such times, it's always important for nations to work together and do as much as possible to make our world healthier and free from COVID-19. Mr. Modi said, "More power to Indo-US friendship."
In a series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of the leading medical experts on COVID-19. Dr. Nand Kumar, Professor of Psychiatry, AIIMS, suggested people to stay at home, spend time with family members and practice yoga.
We are going to overcome this crisis within a few weeks. In the coming few weeks, stay at home, spend time with the family, do household works, exercise, listen to music, sing with the family, do yoga, meditation, and take care of emotional need of the family and yourself.
Dr. Anvita Agarwal, Resident Infectious Diseases, AIIMS, advised people to not be negligent and stay at their homes.
Coronavirus may be invisible, but the number of people affected are very much visible. More than 4 lakh people have already been affected all over the world, and the numbers are increasing from day to day. Don't be negligent. Please stay at home.
Sitharaman, a resident, had gone to Haryana in search of work. He returned to Pilibhit due to the lockdown. He was provided work under the MG Narega scheme. He also received a job card and free rations.
मेरा नाम सीताराम है, जिला सोनीपत। मैं हरियाणा गया था काम करने के लिए। उसमें मैंने काम किया और वहाँ कोरोना बीमारी के कारण मुझे घर आना पड़ा। काम बंद हो गया। फिर अपने गांव आए। मेरा राशन कार्ड बना हुआ है, गल्ला मिलता है फ्री और मेरा पालन पोषण हो रहा है। सरकार के लिए धन्यवाद।
Indian actress Sonali Bendre has appealed to the people to come together in the fight against COVID-19. She also expressed gratitude to frontline corona warriors for their efforts.
दोस्तों, मुश्किल कभी बताकर नहीं आती है और ना ही उससे भागा जा सकता है। आज हमारे सामने मुश्किल है और हमें उसका सामना करना है। इसका सामना हम कर सकते हैं घर पर रहकर। अगर हमारा काम जरूरी ना हो तो प्लीज घर से बाहर ना निकले। हम खुद की जान ही नहीं, दूसरों की जान को भी खतरे में डाल सकते हैं। जिन लोगों के पास ऑप्शन नहीं है, जिनका घर से बाहर निकलना जरूरी है, जैसे पुलिस वाले, डॉक्टर्स, नर्सेस, सैनिटेशन वर्कर्स, उनका काम और न बढ़ाएं, उनका काम और मुश्किल न करें, उनको मदद करें घर पे रह के। इसीलिए प्लीज स्टे होम, स्टे सेफ।
In Nepal, 11 new cases of COVID-19 reported today, taking total number to 278. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, 11 more persons diagnosed with COVID-19 on Saturday. The condition of all new patients is reported to be normal. There are 242 active cases in Nepal, while 36 patients have been recovered so far. Out of 7 provinces in the country, 6 have been affected by the coronavirus. Province 2 and Province 5 have reported 109 cases each, whereas Province 1 has 36, Bagmati having 16, Gandaki has 3, and Sudur Paschim has reported 5 cases till now. Karnali province remained COVID-19 free so far. At present, 16,366 people are under quarantine and 320 persons kept in isolation across the Himalayan nation. Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba today chaired a meeting of the National Crisis Management Committee NCMC in New Delhi and reviewed the preparations for the impending cyclone over the Bay of Bengal. During the NCMC meeting, Mr. Gauba took stock of the current situation and preparedness for rescue and relief operations and also directed to provide immediate assistance as required. Now let's take a look at the weather report for tomorrow from across the country. National capital will face thunderstorms or dust storms with maximum temperatures touching at 41 degrees Celsius and minimum temperature at 24 degrees Celsius. Mumbai is predicted to have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy with towards maximum temperatures of 33 degrees Celsius and minimum temperature of 28 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will experience maximum 28 degrees Celsius and minimum temperature of 13 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad is predicted to have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening with maximum temperatures at 33 degrees Celsius.
And now, before we end, the headlines once again. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announces structural reforms in 8 sectors to build self-reliant India. Commercial mining in coal to be allowed on revenue share basis. 50,000 crore rupees to be invested in coal sector. FDI limits through automatic route in defence manufacturing raised from 49% to 74%. Recovery rate of COVID-19 patients improves to 35.08%. And in the second phase of the Vande Bharat mission, flight carrying 177 passengers from Dubai lands in Kochi. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news.